From the campus of Buena Vista University on the shores of Storm Lake, this is Inside Beaver Athletics.
This Buena Vista Beaver team has come afire.
Beavers win! Beavers win!
And the Beaver students rush the floor.
The Buena Vista Beavers are champions of the American Rivers Conference!
And now, the Director of Athletic Communications, Stephen Phelps.
Hello once again, Beaver Nation. Happy August to everyone out there. I'm pleased to be joined by BVU head women's soccer coach Mauricio Lozada. And coach, I know since last season ended, you've just been, a little time off, but then you've been chomping at the bit just to try and get, the next season up and running, and here we are. So talk a little bit about what it's been like in the off season, kind of what the message was to the team when the season ended last year, what the focus was going to be this off season, and how do you just prepare yourself from the end of one season to the start of the next?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So first of all, thank you for having me. This is always fun. It's always nice to talk about our program, our student athletes, and, give everybody kind of inside scoop into what BBU women's soccer is. Honestly, the message was very, very simple. We want more. We want to compete. We want to take that next step in the development of the program. And we have the returning group that's really bought into the culture and standards. And we have a freshman group coming in that not only is going to push us forward, but also they're ready. They're ready to compete and ready to get on the field and be part of what we're doing and take ownership of the program. So that's exciting. I will be honest, it's also a little nerve-wracking, right? But I hate summer now that I'm a college soccer coach. And the only thing is that our season is so short, right? Mm-hmm. And it goes in so quickly. I'm excited to get going. I will say that I occupied my time a lot this summer. I don't remember what I did, but I do know that I hit up as many things as I could just to kind of get the summer going quickly and get back into preseason and the madness of that. Obviously, I appreciate the fact that my wife keeps me busy we're celebrating 11 years this year, so one of our traditions is to go to Manhattan Island where we got married. Obviously, we can never do it in season because that's actually when we got married, so we go a month earlier, and it's nice to just disconnect, relax. There's very little cell service there, so if you need me, that's the wrong time to look for me. But other than that, it's been nice to go on tennis, and I did a pickleball tournament with my family. Did not go so hot. I got 5th out of 6th place, which is embarrassing because I believe I'm in shape, but clearly I am not. So I already put the threat. Right. Yeah, I already put the threat to my family that the only way I do this again is that we play from now till then. So that's kind of the goal now. Trying to get this pickleball career going just in case soccer doesn't pan out.
You got something to fall back on just in case. Well, now as you begin year 4, you've kind of mentioned this before, that now you have a roster that's entirely your own, the ladies that you've recruited and the prospects that you've brought in. Let's just talk about the makeup of that roster, where the ladies are coming from. You had a little bit of a senior class leave you after last year that has built the foundation back up, and now that you bring in a pretty talented incoming class. Just talk about the makeup of the roster and how the veteran and the experienced players are going to mix with this incoming class that you have. Yeah, no, it's a perfect mixture, I believe. One, we don't have any seniors this year, so our junior class, they're not only our captains, but our true leaders, right? So I appreciate the fact that they were my first class. They're the first ones that I brought in, and, they represent what I'm trying to make this program to be. So that's exciting. And then, from a 30,000-foot view of the program, we have 11 states coming in, from Hawaii to Florida and everything in between, and I appreciate that. We have kids that are used to state high school tournaments, big club tournaments. They expect more, they want more, they're ready to compete. And that's exciting. I don't know how it happened that I'm going to my 4th season. I think it goes fast.
It does go fast, especially when you're having fun. So it's nice to kind of see, okay, and I appreciate the classes that have graduated before, because they really have set the foundation for the program and what the culture and the standards can be and should be. Now is 26 class and on, the ones that push us forward. and solidify a lot of those things, but also, they don't have to wait their turn. They, they're getting on the field on day one, and that's exciting. So there's going to be probably some bumps on the road just because of how young we are, but that's not an excuse. That's just the reality. We're going to have to get back up and get after it again. That's the exciting part of it, that this is not just a next season, build and see what happens. It's the next 5, right? And making sure that, again, we have the leadership that we need to get there, but also we have a really, really strong group that, again, they just want to get on the field, and that's exciting. I'm not saying we're world beaters, but the inner drive that they have to compete, as a coach, that's all you want. Sure. We can go into the nuance of, tactical and how we're going to play and those kind of things, but having just 24 student athletes to want to compete, that's the game changer.
And when you look back on year 1 to now, what would be the biggest change or the biggest difference from a program standpoint from when you took over to where you guys are at now? And maybe that's part of it, is just the overall mindset and the drive that the ladies have.
Yeah, no, and it really is a big difference. But I don't want to minimize the students that we had at the time. The student athletes that we had at the time really built this for the long haul, right? And I think this is the great reminder of the fact that we're going to celebrate 30 years of college soccer at BBU. It's taken us a while, but we get to celebrate 30 years because we've had those student athletes that have done their time here and have, the stories that they share at alumni weekends that reminds you that this is not just a 4-year process. This is the next 30, right? And making sure that, again, we're gonna get it wrong from time to time, but the fact that we have really good people and they're excited to just be part of something bigger than themselves, and they want to have ownership of that. That's the game changer. So I do appreciate the group that we had at the time, because they really, got into the deep end of the pool and said sink or swim, and they bought into what we were trying to sell then. And because of them, now going into the 4th season, the shape and the structure and the type of student athlete that we have, it's a testament to the fact that they really set it up well for us to go and take care of business. So it's a perfect combination, and that, at the end of the day, is kind of what you want. Yes, did I wish we had the success that we had then? Absolutely. I am a coach and I do want to win, but I wouldn't trade it. I really wouldn't. I do wish I would have learned some lessons quicker, but that's more for my own professional development.
And as you look back, and you just mentioned that you're celebrating 30 years of soccer. Talk us through a little bit about maybe some of the plans that you have, for the season. What different ways that you plan on celebrating 30 years, some events, whatever it might be.
During my time, we started this alumni weekend, and the alumni weekend usually is part of our preseason, and one of the exhibition games for preseason is playing the alumni, right? So we've had 20 to 22 come each time. So this time, instead of being part of the preseason, we're gonna be part of homecoming. So we're one of the things that we're gonna be celebrating during homecoming. So we're hoping that it's a little bit bigger and better celebration of what we've done before. Sure. Right? So we have a schedule for that Friday, that Saturday. We're hoping to get into 30, 40, 50 alumni to come back, and be able to. Honestly, it's not even what's on the schedule, but just having those moments and opportunities to reminisce of what their experience was. Quite frankly, compare and contrast to what BBU looked like and what it looks like now, and hopefully they appreciate all the investments that BBU has made on just across the board for the student experience, and honestly reconnect with the current Beavers and hopefully see themselves in them, right? And just understand that they're also part of it. Yes, their eligibility is done, right? But they can still give back by, showing up to our away games. We're in the middle of nowhere, right? To follow our social media, to, sometimes just, getting on the phone with us and see how life is going, right? So we're trying to build that a little bit more. There is going to be an alumni game, and then we play at home, and obviously celebrating them during our game as well. Just giving the appreciation that because of them, we get to celebrate 30 years. We are going to extend it. So this fall, we're celebrating 30 years of the programs we established. And then next season will be the 30th official season. So we really are celebrating 2 seasons in a year, if you will, right? Yep. So I again, I really want them to. This is the perfect time to reconnect. If you haven't opened a newsletter, if you haven't, don't even know what's going on, this is the best time to really understand where the program's at, where BBU is at, and how you can be a part of it. And a lot of people think, well, it's just money. No, it's not. It's all the other little things. And what I really want to build with our program is that sisterhood, that, our current student athletes can reach out to former Beavers and talk about anything and everything, from personal to professional and everything in between, right? And those things, because again, that's what matters. Don't get me wrong, we want the titles, and we're gonna go after the titles, and we're gonna go after the personal accolades, the all conference, all region, all Americans. Absolutely, that's winning has to be part of the process. But one of the things that was very clear when we did our first alumni weekend is they didn't talk about wins and losses. Not a single time during the weekend that they talk about that. They talked about like the bus rides and the get-togethers and the movie nights and remember when they went to X road trip and all those things. So that's where I think the magic of college athletics is, and that's what we want to make sure that they feel. Even if it was 30 years ago, this is still home.
And that was going to be my next question is, you've only been a part of it for, 4 years, but then in the conversations you've had with alumni that have been here in years past, whether it's, some of your more recent alumni or some of the ones that have been here 15, 20, or 30 years ago, in those conversations, what were some of the more memorable things that they, remembered most about their time here?
One of the things is like alumni from men's soccer and women's soccer and getting married, right? And right, and all those things. And there was a time where they had the same coach for both programs, right? And so those are the things that make the biggest impact to that. It wasn't just women's soccer, it's the relationships with men's soccer, and then how they go and cheer on football and their basketball games and those things, and just the BBU community, right? Like the fact that they're still doing the unification service hours during the time that we do it here, right? And they're doing it in their communities. Like those are the kind of things that it's very cool to listen to. They played on the grass fields on the north side, and they weren't great, and right, and they had men's uniforms and and all those kind of things. But it's never said in a way of like, oh, back in my day we had it rough, but it was fun, and we enjoyed it. And it's nice to see that they're coming back, and a lot of times like checking on each other, right, and what you've been up to and what you've done and all those things. So that was cool to see, because when we put it together, I was like, if we get 10, I'm happy, right? And we got 22, and it was a really nice spectrum, right? Sure. So we got back into the early teens, like I think 05, 06 was the earliest that came that first one, and people don't think 20 years is a big difference. It is a big difference. It's a big difference, right? So that was cool to, again, their stories never came to, it was a 1-0 game or 3-0 game. We did talk about a little bit more scores last alumni weekend, just because now I knew them, and I got to kind of ask a little bit of what the actual experience was on the field. But even then, it's still, again, they if they're coming back as because everything that they had at BBU, like, still is pulling them back, right? So that's nice to see. I haven't looked at the numbers yet right now for our alumni weekend, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're already at that 22 by now, and obviously we're gonna try to remind people like it's coming and we want them here. So my goal, if we get into those 30s and 40s, okay, now again, same thing like where I'm at with our program. You can see that momentum is shifting and people are excited, and that's where you want to be.
Yep, that's great. And as we sit here and do this interview, we're less than a week away from, officially opening, the practice season and, the ladies moving back, the teams moving back and getting going. So let's just walk through what the expectations will be as you start the season up here, and then a little bit about the playing schedule. I know, first match is, Tuesday, September 1st here at home against Martin Luther. So just talk about, maybe some of the key matchups that you see on the schedule this year, and how that team just continues to build towards, making it into the conference tournament for that first time.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to push for the conference tournament. We got to push for not just winning, but winning the way that we want to play. So that's good to see and exciting to see. In terms of our schedule, obviously with our non-cons, we wanted to make sure that we found teams that will remind us of our conference, and our conference is very tough. No matter who's in front of you, it's gonna challenge you, and it's gonna expect a lot from our student athletes. So our non-con, that's what we try to do. So with the Stevens Point, with the St. Mary's, with Augustana, those are reminders of the style of play we're gonna see. How do we respond to those in those games, and be uncomfortable but also like work through it as a team. And then we have some matchups that maybe they don't correlate to our conference, but they definitely they're outside of what we're used to. So it's a nice little challenge in a different way. So maybe it's not physical or mental, but how do we come together and compete and deal with the physicality or deal with what's in front of us, because those are also good conversations to have after games of like, okay, how do we deal with the fact that we're playing on a very small field, right? And how do we create that space? Or we're on a grass away, and or our overnight in Wisconsin where we're not back to back, but 2 games at a weekend, 6-7 hours away from home. How do we deal with that and those things? So it's good. It's exciting. Obviously, the biggest goal, we cannot sugarcoat it, is make it to the conference tournament. That is the biggest next step for the program. I truly believe that we have a chance this year. But what we believe and what's on paper to go get it done, that's the beauty of the season. So I'm excited for that challenge, because I do believe we have the student athletes for it. I've done my due diligence to be as prepared as we can, but I also understand going into my 11th year in college soccer, doesn't matter how amazing your plans are.
That's why you play the game.
You gotta play the game. And as long as we continue to build and continue to just get a little bit better, practice after practice, game after game, it's not so much that it's good enough, but should be the standard. And that is the fun part about it.
As crazy as it is to think that we're back here, in August, getting ready for the season to fire up, it's definitely exciting, and we wish you guys nothing but the best as you progress forward throughout training camp here and the start of the season on September 1st, and being able to celebrate 30 years of soccer here on the campus of Buena Vista University. So again, Coach, we appreciate the time, being able to talk with you today, and best of luck as you get things going.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always fun to just talk about our program and talk about our awesome student athletes and where the program's at and what we're trying to do. We'll see you in the stands, and then you can see it for yourself.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Thanks, Coach.
Inside Beaver Athletics is presented to members of the BV Club and friends of Buena Vista University Athletics. We thank you for your support of our athletes. Until next time, go Beavers!